offensive lines that I can very confidently say, oh well, they're one of the tops. So honorable mention wise for this one, I'm not going to do any honorable mentions. There are a couple teams that I'm like, okay, that doesn't look too bad, but I won't do it right now. I'll just do top 10 for this specific thing, since it's not individual players, a team thing. But offensive line, I did see some nice ones. I've seen some ones that people might not know of and or might overlook. But I mean, at the same time, like I said, there's not many great offensive lines right now that are fully developed, fully built, right? So there is a possibility of having more offensive lines and making it harder. But right now, it's clear cut where I'm at with where I'm at. And number 10 is going to be the Atlanta Falcons. First of all, they allowed 40 sacks, which is the 15th fewest. So they are very unknown, some unknown offensive lineman names. They were 22nd in passing. I'm not going to blame the offensive line for all that. There was a guy named Desmond Ritter that is just not NFL ready to be a starting quarterback right now. Um, that just wasn't, throwing the ball as much as Atlanta wants to. But they were ninth in rushing yards. I mean, Bijan had a great year. Um, and yeah, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, overall, the rushing was good. The rushing was good. I'm gonna, obviously the running back, they give them some credit. Offensive line, they are a huge reason the rushing game does go well when it goes well. They're over here, blocking guys. They're over here making sure that they're double teaming defenders so they can find a open space for that running back to go through and, gain 4, 5, 6, 10 plus yards. You know what I mean? So gotta give them credit. Atlanta Falcons, man. So you got we're gonna start from left tackle all the way to right tackle. So left tackle, you got Matthews, who was top 10, number 10. It's allowed 5 sacks. Their left guard is Bergeron, who was not mentioned in anything, but he allowed 6 sacks. Their center, Dolman, wasn't mentioned at all. He allowed 2 sacks. Lindstrom, the best right guard in football, I think, with 3 sacks allowed. And then Caleb McGarry, who was number 8 on the countdown for right tackles, he allowed 4 sacks. So I look at it, I'm like, yeah, there are some guys that are not known. There are some guys that definitely allowed some sacks. Bergeron being that guy that allowed the most sacks, right? But when I look at it, Dolman, 2 sacks allowed. Looking at him playing the majority of the time that he was given, and able to play. He could step up to be a pretty good center. I mean, he's just got to, time, man. Just time is going to show what he's about. Lindstrom, when you got a right guard and McGarry there on the right side, I think that's pretty good. That's pretty nice to say that. And then Jake Matthews on their side, a veteran left tackle. They have their tackles that are veterans. They got Lindstrom. They got Dolman who can prove something. So Bergeron, hopefully, can step up. It's not a bad offensive line, and they're going to do great things for Kirk Cousins. Number 9, we got the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, this Rams offensive line has a lot of potential, and they're back. They are back to where they needed to be when they won the Super Bowl. Um, they just have a really, really good, well built, you know, offensive line with the signings that they got from free agency to the draft picks that they were smartly picking. You know what I mean? So overall, this is it's a veteran mixed with just raw talent, and I do believe that they're going to be pretty good. Number 9 is it feels a little bit low for them, I would say, but I wanted to see how they put it together next year. They still are one of the best offensive lines in football, though. Um, the Rams 34 sacks that they allowed. That was the sixth fewest in the NFL without the signings that they had this year. They were 10th in passing, 11th in rushing. Um, you're looking at the left tackle. They got Ostrich Jackson, who allowed 1 sack. Then you got the Jonah Jackson signing from the Detroit Lions, now is a Ram. Yeah, he was ranked number 8 for his position and 2 sacks allowed. Steve Avila, he was an honorable mention, and he allowed 2 sacks. Dotson, he was an honorable mention as right guard, and he allowed 4 sacks. And then Rob Havenstein, who was number 7 on the right tackle list, and allowing 2 sacks. So they do have full of star power. Um, I put Avila as a center because they're going to have Dotson and Jackson there, so it makes sense that they would just put the young kid, transition him from a guard to a center, since Jackson and Dotson have been guards primarily their whole career. So overall, this is a really smart decision that they're making. A really good signing with Jonah Jackson for sure. Um, the only one is the left tackle, who's not familiar. He's still new. He's still young, but for the most part, I do believe that they're going to be solid. They're going to be solid. So they do deserve to be on this list, and we will see how it goes. I do believe that their run game, pass game, everything, they will be pretty good, and they will definitely be a playoff team. Number 8, we have the Minnesota Vikings. This is a team that is definitely trying to get better with their interior offensive line there. Definitely believe that they're overlooked. Obviously, they don't get enough immediate attention for people to really showcase what they can do. But this is a really youthful offensive line mixed with some veteran leadership there, and but overall they aren't bad. They aren't bad. They're going to do really good things next year. I mean, Aaron Jones was a good signing for them for their running back. I think they'll definitely be getting some nice running numbers. Um, Passing the ball, I mean, we will see how the rookie does. But I mean, he's got great weapons, and Jordan Addison, and of course Jay Jettis. So overall, that should not that should be a pretty comfortable spot as a rookie to come into, man. If you're gonna throw it to, arguably could go down as the best receiver in the game of all time in Jefferson, and a really young stud in Addison. So I think this offensive line, though, I think they'll hold their own. You're looking at Minnesota. They had 47 sacks allowed last year. That was the 12th highest in the NFL, so not fantastic. They were fifth in passing, 29th in rushing. So what can they possibly do to get better? Well, first of all, they got left tackle Christian Darrisaw, who was ranked ninth. He did allow 6 sacks. He's got to decrease that for sure. Left guard is Reisner, who was number 9 on the list for his position, 0 sacks allowed. Garrett Bradbury, 3 sacks allowed. It's not that bad. You got Ingram at right guard. He did allow 5 sacks. He's got to definitely diminish those numbers. And then Brian O'Neill, who was ranked number 6, did allow 6 sacks. So can they get better? Yes, they need Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw to do what they can, which is top 10 material, which also means decreasing the sacks. And that's just how they're going to give that rookie QB more time to throw, to read defenses, and read the play and read the field. So overall, it starts with them. The interior, Reisner's fantastic. I think Ingram's going to learn through Reisner, and Bradbury is well, he's not a bad center man. So he's been doing this for a while, and I do believe in the leadership of this team, and I do believe that this offensive line can do great things next year. So they should be on this list. Number 7, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, Definitely a team that did not make the playoffs and whatnot. Definitely a team that's definitely overlooked as disappointment. Their AFC South was theirs at that point, um, and they just let it slip. But I think one of those improvements that they made during the offseason to try to get better and try to be a contender in this loaded AFC, in the division that's starting to get even harder in the AFC South. And that's the Jaguars, man, making moves. I mean, you're looking at what they did last year, 41 sacks allowed. That's the 16th fewest. That is a lot, though. They were ninth in the pass, 24th in the rush. So Rushing wise, yeah, they needed help. So you're looking at what they got. First of all, left tackle Cam Robinson. He allowed 3 sacks. Wasn't in any list, but I mean he's been a solid left tackle in the league. Left guard Ezra Cleveland, allowing 3 sacks. It's not terrible. So Ezra Cleveland, I think, could be pretty reliable. Big free agent signing for the Jaguars. You got Mitch Morse coming from Buffalo, and he's ranked the third best center in the league. And he only allowed 1 sack. That's going to be great for them for the run game, um, for the pass blocking game. Just having a true, really true great center in that offensive line changes everything, especially because the center is that leader. So, having Mitch Morrison there is huge for Trevor Lawrence's development, for the Jaguars offense, for all that. And you got right guard, Brendan Sheriff. I mean, honestly, future Hall of Famer. He's the third best right guard that I put down, and he's got 2 sacks allowed. And then right tackle, Anton Harrison, the youngster. I put him in number 10 for right tackles in the league right now. He did allow 5 sacks. I know that might be a lot, but overall, he has been pretty effective. He is a pretty good pass blocker. Um, and he's a young guy that's going to keep learning and keep being better. So, yeah, this offensive line, though, is going to be a lot better this year, and I'm excited to see this offense, um, excel and succeed, and Trevor Lawrence to be a lot more comfortable with an actual center there. Helping them out. So overall, yeah, this is a good offensive line. They deserve their props. They deserve their credit, as of what they're doing right now. So they are number 7 based on the lineup that they got right now.